guys, this is Carrie with Fullerton Professional Organizing, and on this podcast, we help you declutter your faith, declutter your home, and declutter your business. And I have an entrepreneur here. She actually has two businesses, but right now we're only going to tackle one. And I'm going to go ahead and let my guest introduce herself and tell us what she does. And then we'll get to talking about what she does.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you and letting me be here with you today. And my name is Linda Noell, and I'm here today representing my academy, which is a newly founded 501c3 for special needs adults. So I want to be able to share my journey with you. And unless you have questions, I'll just get right started.
Yeah. Tell us why you started this business.
Well, when my daughter, who is special needs, she's Down syndrome, when she aged out of public school, I was looking for a program for her to be in. I thought I found one up in Raymondville, and then COVID happened. And eventually, long story short, is they closed and decided not to reopen. So there was really nothing in our area for
Mhm.
us to put her in. And just a few people in my life were like, well, why don't you start something? And I'm like, because I don't feel qualified. I don't feel like I know enough to do that. But as I prayed more about it and had the encouragement and support of my friends, they're like, if it's God's will, then you can do it. And so it was a big step of faith or even a leap of faith for me to be able to say yes to the Lord. But it all started in prayer. We had a prayer meeting together with the individuals that suggested I start it. And through prayer, we came up with a plan. We said, okay, let's go visit some places that are similar to what we want to do. Let's just get started and see what the Lord does. So we did that. We just
I
followed a simple plan.
Because sometimes God's will is just start, right? Just start
Exactly.
where you are, start, and then He begins to pivot your business or guide it or even redirect it. I mean, to me, I think I've learned that yes, of course, we want to be in God's will. And yes, of course, we pray, right? To be in God's will. But I think sometimes His will is just right here, what we're doing right now. Our life just He just kind of guides us. And I think it's great because that's how my business started is someone asked and then a light bulb just kind of went off and I threw it out there to see if it stuck and it stuck. So I love that. So since you have started this, how long has it been? And tell us what are some of the things that have happened that are really God moments.
Well, I think going back to the beginning, like I said, with the prayer meeting and making a plan, just following God one step at a time, like He told us to go see places. We went out to Camp University and we got excited about what they were doing and got some tips from their organizer. And we went up to Brookwood in Houston and we're just blown away by their having started similar to us in someone's garage and where they are 15, 20 years later, like
Amazing.
amazing, amazing. So it's just like one step at a time. But I can remember in the very beginning when we were praying about our mission statement and just, Lord, please, this is your mission, so you have to do it. Waking up in the middle of the night and just being compelled, I have to get up and write it down right now because if I don't, I'm not going to remember it in the morning, and just getting up and writing down our mission statement. And very few words have changed since that moment in time when I wrote that mission statement. And that's where we started. We started with a mission statement and then build from there. And we, started working on just all the things that went into nonprofit, forming the nonprofit, getting a board together, having the meetings, God just putting the right people in front of me at that moment when I needed them, and doing a logo, doing a website, and different people that just helped in all those different steps. And then it came summertime, and we're like, well, let's just do this. My daughter is a teacher at North, so she has experience. Summer's a good time for her because she was off. Let's do a summer camp and see how it works. So we just
Oh,
started in my house with 6 students, and we did a curriculum, a summer curriculum, where we were kind of hopscotched through the month of June. Like we were either Monday, Friday, or Wednesday, Friday, and we met a couple of times, I think like 8 times through the month of June. And it worked. And we're like, wow. And
okay.
people were interested, and parents were happy, and was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we know we can do this. So just one step after another, and the Lord just started. So it was this is the 4th year. So three years ago, I started in my living room with 3 students.
It's amazing the time has gone by that fast. That is crazy. And what I would like to emphasize is what you said about the summer program. You know, it's kind of like me putting my Facebook page out there to see if it sticks. You don't have to just 100% jump in. You can test it out. You can do things to test it out and see how you want to do it. It's not like you're setting it up to see if it's not a fail or not fail thing. It's a let's just experiment and see what we like and what we don't like about how it's going during the summer, and then tweak it and then go ahead and start it. I love that because I think that's a great place for all entrepreneurs, isn't it? Is to just kind of,
Yes. And then just having that step of faith again. So when it was time for fall and I hadn't found a place over summer, I was just like, I know where I'm supposed to start this. So then again, here I am, my living room with 3 students. We're going to do this. We're starting with 3 students in my living room. Here we go. I
right. And
hired
how
my
many students do you have now?
14.
14, from
Yes,
3 to 14.
and 2
And
more that have their applications out right now. So actually, if we get both those, we'll be capping at 16 for this year, because space wise, and I have a lead teacher and 2 pairs right now, and that's as many students as we can have.
yeah,
So
yeah. And I
that's
think
super exciting what God's doing, and
it
knowing
is.
that it's God and that God has done it and He has led and He has supplied. And even the 2nd year, having the church open their doors to us so
Mhm,
that we had a place out of my house, because by the 2nd year we were already 6, and 5 was pretty much the max for my house. So we
mhm.
got to the 6th student. I'm like, okay, Lord, now you have to open another door because there's not enough space here. I
Yeah.
mean, I homeschooled my kids at home, but that was about how many I had at home when we were homeschooling. And so, like, there's only so much you can do in a house.
Well, isn't that awesome? Because, I'm going to tell you what someone told me when they were interviewing me on a podcast that I didn't even think of, because I knew that I had started studying organizing when I first got married, right? And it became a passion for my home. But he said, wow, God prepared you back then for what you're doing now. And it's the same with you. I mean, I hate to bring it up like this, but you had how many kids?
10 kids.
You had 10 kids. And if you homeschool 10 kids, then you've got the practice that you need to homeschool the 16 when you get 16. I think that is also, I know that's a funny way to think about it in your case, because we're thinking about having 10 kids, but uh but I just find that funny that from your homeschooling you're now, teaching, and you have this business. And I think God knew. I don't know. I just think God knew, even in the 10 kids and the homeschooling.
Exactly, of course. I mean, and he uses everything.
Yeah,
So I didn't
nothing's
mention,
wasted.
but we were missionaries for 30 years and traveled and worked in a lot of mission schools. So that's my background is actually working in mission schools and in missions. And so I actually do have a background in running schools, but because it was special needs, to me, it was just like, I don't have the experience in special needs. I mean, I can organize and I can do a lot of things, and I've had a lot of experience, and God uses it all. So now I'm depending on my teachers and my peers to actually do the in-class work, and I'm doing all the behind the scenes organizing and keeping up with everything else that needs to be done, which ends up being quite a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's awesome. I think that is so awesome. I think and unfortunately, there aren't a lot of people that can handle it as well as you have. I know it's still a learning curve for you in in the business side, but you had a daughter that you already knew some of the, I know every student is still different, right? Every
Right.
student, but still, I think everything in your life prepared you for this moment, and I think that is excellent.
And
So
I agree with that because I feel like I really didn't know my calling with my daughter
mm,
until there was nothing for her. And like, oh, okay, so this is what you've been preparing me for all this time to be able to do what I'm now doing.
yeah, I think
So,
that is
absolutely.
so awesome. All right. Well, what else would you like the audience to know about the school?
Well, one of the big things is right now we're coming up to our fourth annual fundraiser, and we are private pay. We're, like I said, we're a 501(c)(3), so we're a nonprofit. We're private pay, but we try not to, have our tuition unaffordable for parents, let's say. So our tuition covers only about half or less than half of our actual running budget. So we do a yearly fundraiser and we depend on it heavily for our finances. So I just like to encourage anybody listening to this, participate. You're going to put a link, I understand, up after this that they'll be able to click on. We're on Facebook. My Academy Facebook page has all the details about the fundraiser, how to purchase tickets. If you're interested in being a sponsor or you'd like to give a silent auction item, we're still in need of those. And we just like to see a good turnout. And it has been very successful over the last 3 years in supplying our needs. And the
Yeah.
community has been very supportive
Yeah,
for
I
us.
think what the community needs to know is our local community. It's going to be at the Cultural Arts Center, and we're going to have that information in the description. But also, if you are listening to this in Australia or the UK or where any of my listeners are, because there are some listeners in other countries. I've had other podcasters that have had me as a guest. So anyone out there, whether you're local or not local, support. If God is leading you to support this ministry, do it. So I just wanted to emphasize you don't have to be local to do it. Now, if someone wanted to support you from outside of our local area, do you have a way that they can contact you and support you that way?
Absolutely, absolutely through our website.
So we'll
So if
have
you go
that.
on our website, there'll be a link where you can give, there'll be a link where you can connect with us and make that content. And of course, on the website, then you'll also be able to see everything we're doing. So I encourage you, if you are interested, do get on our website and find out more about us. Because I didn't really give the specifics of everything we're doing with our life skills and our job site training and our community support. So there's a really more well-rounded description of what we are doing on the
Oh, yeah,
website.
there's a lot more that we're not going to be able to cover in this 30-minute podcast. But tell us what your goals are, maybe just one little short-term goal and maybe one big goal, just so that people kind of know where you're headed also.
So as I said, our school is for young adults that have aged out of public school. So my age range, just so you know, is from 23 to 53 right now. And my goal is in helping all our special needs adults to be more independent. That's the number one goal, that through our school, they will gain more confidence in areas in their life to become more independent, whether it's just being able to clean something or to cook something or to be left alone and the parents feel comfortable that they can leave their young adult alone. I mean, that was major for me with my daughter when she first graduated high school. I was like, never leave her alone. I wouldn't even leave her alone to go work out for an hour. I would have somebody come in and sit with her so I could go work out. But now I leave her 4 or 5 hours at a time because I'm confident
Mhm.
that through the skills she's learned in our program, she's able to take care of herself. She's not going to set the house on fire. She's not going to walk out the door and do something she shouldn't do. She's able to be by herself and she actually enjoys it. She's like, okay, mom, bye. I got this. And
Yeah.
she does her own laundry and she just learning all kinds of stuff of how to be more independent and do things for herself. So that's our short-term goal, is to help all of our students be more successful in whatever they attempt to do in life.
Mhm.
Our long-term goal is that we will be able to have our own building. And in that, we want to also open a cafe where they will be able to work and have the experience of job skills, on-site job skills, and we'll also have little things that they have made that will be for sale in the coffee shop. And they're right now working on making coffee mugs, and we want to get into t-shirts and aprons, and they're doing soap making, and they just did clay, so we have soap dishes and soap for our auction, some of our auction items, and they do art, they're doing canvases, and just really proud of them all for all their accomplishments. So we want to show that off in our cafe.
Yes, that is fabulous. And that's another way that people outside of the valley can help too. They can purchase things from your students. I mean, you may not have it advertised, and maybe you do, but I'm just saying from hearing this, they can just go, "Hey, I heard y'all make soap and I want to buy a bunch for Christmas gifts and Christmas stockings." I'm just throwing out some ideas
There
that
you
all of
go.
my viewers can just off the wall think of some ideas of how they can support and also get something back, because your kids have made a lot of products that they sell locally, but hey, add on a little shipping fee and people can support you from all over. I think that's an awesome way to support a business as well. Now let's segue into another thing. What is it that Linda does to relax or have fun when she's not running two businesses?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a good one. Spending time with family, I think, is number one. That's what I do to relax. And actually, right now, I have my daughter and two grandkids living with me. So at the end of the week, especially on Friday nights, I make it a point to have family dinner and just sit down, relax, and talk to everybody and enjoy being there. And yeah, it's a lot. I've been very busy, and so I try to make sure I do set aside time to be with family and enjoy them.
Yes, that's
And that's
very
important.
important.
So,
All right.
uh,
Now, what is one thing that I didn't ask you that you want people to know? Because we're winding down to the end here, at the end of our podcast. So, what is there anything that we have not told the world that you wanted to, that you had in mind to say today?
Well, that's a hard one because I can't think of anything. I look at my
Okay.
notes real quick, and I think that the one thing that I maybe didn't share enough is that just seeing God's blessing
Mhm.
in all of this is that I have to give God all the glory and all the credit for the success of the business and for the growth. And as we've mentioned, going from 3 to 14 in just a couple years
Mhm.
is a big deal. And God has been in that. God has supplied. God has engineered that, and we're seeing a lot of growth and also just the need in the community. So I know we're going to continue to grow, and I believe He will continue to supply for us.
Yes, awesome. Okay, my last question before we go through how they can reach you and all of that, which we're going to put in the description anyway, but we want to say it on air. But just to tie this into my organizing business, just the last question here is because I like people to know that none of us are perfect. We have our messy and messy can be faith, biz, home or business. It doesn't necessarily have to be any one area. We have our messy, and then we have something that we're the most proud of. And that's the last question is where's one of our messy areas that we're working on, and what are we the most proud of?
Well, I can start with the messy area first because I'm not real good at getting my books in order. So I have learned that I better hire somebody to do that and don't feel bad about it. If it's not something that
Exactly.
is my strength, then it's okay to hire someone else to do it.
Exactly. And it alleviates your brain to do what you are good at. Absolutely. It is okay sometimes, or all the times, depending on what it is, to hire help sometimes. It's
Exactly.
just not a failure. It's not a failure. All right. And something that you're the most proud of in any area that you want to.
Well, I just think my ability to be able to follow God in this
Mhm.
because without Him, again, it wouldn't be possible. And
Yeah.
I just know that just the day by day, okay, Lord, lead me today, show me today. What am I going to do today? What do I need to do to move this forward? And just feel like I'm staying in touch with Him and following His direction, leading, guiding.
Yeah, it's depending on him and trusting him while we depend on him. We like to I like to say, and you've heard me say it, but the audience may not have heard me say it too many times, but we like to watch God work. We
Absolutely.
like to obey
Absolutely.
him and then watch him do the heavy lifting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's
Yes.
all
Mhm.
right. Now, how can people find you? All the things. I mean, you don't have to list them all, but
Well, the website is the first place to start. And do I need to say it? You want me to say
well, you can just say it briefly because yeah, we're gonna type it in.
www.mygv.com? So the website is first place. Facebook is second place because I'm always posting pictures of our students and what we're doing. And that's like my weekly update of what's happening at my academy is my Facebook page. And it's actually linked to my website. So you'll actually see that too. But yeah, that's the main places to find us.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
awesome. Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for coming on here and telling us all about what you do and how they can support you because it really is a great business for the community. It's a really good thing. I just think you're amazing. You're amazing because even though I have spent time with the students and I love them and I think they're great. Um, and I used to be a teacher, so I know, you just treat them like you treat anybody else. and it's an integration into community. And I think some people do have a lot of fear, and they are scared to approach special needs people, but they're just like everybody
But
else.
and they just want to be
They,
associated, they want to be
they want to
recognized
be
and
treated just
mhm,
like everyone else. They don't want you to act like they're different. You just have to act like I mean, you have to treat them like they're part of the community like everybody else. And I
exactly.
know it kind of sounds a little weird me saying it like that, but that's the one thing that I want the everyone to know is just treat them like everybody else. Talk to them like everybody else. Just be a friend. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mhm,
And anyway, well, again, thank you.
mhm.
And I guys, uh, connect and share this video with anyone here locally that needs to hear this video. And we want to say thank you, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Carrie.